this video, we're going to talk about, and we're going to mix Napoleon Hill and Neville Goddard. We're going to mix these two back and forth and basically kind of come up with why things are not working for you. And I'm doing my morning routine right now. I'm reading the Think and Grow Rich. I've read this book probably 200, 300 times. But I'm on the second chapter called Desire. Okay, desire is the first step of riches. Okay, the first step of getting what you want. When you set an intention, you set a goal, you set a want. That's the very first step. And right in that first step, according to Napoleon Hill, he states like why things are not working. And that's what we're going to discuss today. Very briefly, we're going to discuss desire and why you're not getting what you want. And I'm going to put a twist on it a little bit because I think as an adult, I think the older we get, things are not working for us. We're not getting what we want. And we think law of attraction, laws of abundance isn't for us. And we're trying to dissect really what's going on in our own life, like why we're not really achieving what we want. We might already have a great life. We might already have a good life, but we're not living a life exactly on our terms. We're not living a life exactly what we want to do. So what's really going on and how to dissect it. So that's a little twist I want to put in there. Not just the, you have to have desire, Chad. You know what I mean? You kind of get it if you're a little bit older. Like what's really going on when you're a little bit older? And that's what I want to really share with you a little bit. Because our mindset might be a little bit different when we have some, life experience behind us a little bit. So let me share with you right in the first chapter, right in the beginning, what Napoleon Hill says about desire. Okay, chapter 2, desire. Desire is a starting point of all riches. Okay, now that's pretty much common sense. It's really what Neville Goddard preaches about when Neville Goddard coined the phrase law of assumption. So Neville Goddard's whole thing is you set an intention. Okay, you set an intention, you set a want, and you go inside your imagination, you live in the end, and you live in the end until the fruition of that intention comes to you in reality. Okay, desire is the same thing. Desire is the same thing as an intention. You have to have a desire. You have to have a want. Right in the first few paragraphs, this is what Napoleon Hill says. When Edwin C. Barnes climbed down from the freight train in Orange, New Jersey, more than 30 years ago, he may have resembled a tramp, but his thoughts were of those of a king. Now, mind you, the terminology here, this is old school writing. If you don't know kind of the backstory, Edward C. Barnes wanted to work with Edison, okay? Since he wanted to work with Edison, that was his main whole desire in his whole life. He didn't want to just work with Edison. He basically wanted to be a business partner of Edison. So this is what Edison is telling Napoleon Hill, is that Edwin C. Barnes, he may have resembled a tramp. Now, a tramp back in the day, like this is how I look at it. Like when I lived in Los Angeles for 20 years, a tramp would be maybe like a homeless person. Okay, like he's dressed, he's presenting himself. You look at somebody and they're homeless. That's really kind of how he looked. He was homeless, but his thoughts were those of a king. Listen to that. Even though he appeared homeless, his thoughts were of a king. Okay, his thoughts were abundance is inside you. Okay, this is kind of a very phenomenon why sometimes things are not working for us. Is are your thoughts of a king? Are your thoughts of a queen? Now remember, abundance is inside you. Heaven is within you. God is within you. Abundance is your birthright. I mean, do you really, really believe it? Okay, and this is what it's saying right here. Like Edwin C. Barnes, he really believed his whole desire, his whole life, he staked his whole life, his whole purpose on being a business partner of Thomas Edison. And he really believed that's all he wanted to do. It was like do or die, he was going to do this. Is that how strong your desire is? Is that how strong your attention is? Okay, answer that for yourself. Just ponder that for a second. And is your thoughts of a king? Are your thoughts of a queen? Okay, no matter your situation, no matter your surroundings, are your thoughts of a king or a queen? As he made his way from the railroad tracks to Thomas Edison's office, his mind was at work. He saw himself standing in Edison's presence. He heard himself asking Mr. Edison for an opportunity to carry out the consuming obsession of his life, a burning desire to become a business associate of a great inventor. So even though Napoleon Hill's explaining it differently, but this is the same thing if you follow Neville Goddard, if you listen to Neville Goddard, when you set an intention. Your attention is so strong, that's what you want. You're going inside your imagination, you're seeing yourself actually do it. You're living in the end. This is the same exact stuff. It's just presented and written in a different way. That Barnes again he's on his way. He's at the railroad tracks. He just got dropped off by the train. He's at the railroad tracks. He's seeing himself walking to Edison's office, standing in front of Edison. Before he even gets there, he sees himself doing it. He sees himself asking to work with him. So he's all in his imagination. So he's using his imagination, just like Neville Goddard preaches in Law of Assumption. And at the same point, I almost said Neville Goddard. At the same point, Napoleon Hill points out he has a consuming obsession of his life, a burning desire. This is all he wants to do. He's staking his whole future on this. He's staking his whole claim on this. And before I move forward, this is something I really want to point out. This is basically the talk I really want to have is when you set an intention, you set a goal, you set a desire, no matter how you want to put it, do you stake your whole future on it? Is that what you want to do your entire life? You know, you almost like you're burning your bridges all behind you. You're burning the ships. You're burning your bridges all behind you because you're planting your flag. This is what I'm really going to do. Is it that strong? Okay, and this is the question I really want you to answer because this is what we're going to talk about here in a couple minutes. Barnes' desire was not a hope. It was not a wish. It was a keen, pulsating desire, which transcended everything else. It was definite. And this is really what I want to share with you. And I'll read this little snippet again, and we'll kind of discuss it. Barnes' desire was not a hope. It was not a wish. It was a keen, pulsating desire, which transcended everything else. It was definite. Now, he had a definite desire. He had a definite purpose. He had a definite plan, what he wanted to do. And he was going inside his imagination how Napoleon Hill is writing it, just like Neville Goddard. Now, this is what I want to share with you. This is why I think sometimes things don't work out for us, or we don't really get what we really want, especially as an older adult. Okay, because like right now I'm 47, so so I have some life experience behind me. I'm not 20 years old. you know what I mean. Teaching law of attraction, law of assumption with no life experience. And I'm not saying anything. There's YouTubers that make great money on YouTube that teach law of attraction, law of assumption, laws of abundance. But when they started off on YouTube, they started off being 18, 19 years old. Then they got super popular and they make great money now. I'm not saying anything about that, but what I'm saying is sometimes when you have life experience behind you, you can help other people that are struggling in the same way, okay? And this is what kind of resonated with me, why things don't really work as an older adult, as an adult has some life experience, is because when Napoleon Hill says, Barnes' desire was not a hope, it was not a wish, it was a keen, pulsating desire. It was a definite, okay? As an adult right now, when you set a want, when you set a desire, when you set an intention, okay, you want something to attract into your life, do you think it's a keen, pulsating desire? Do you think it's a keen, pulsating intention, a keen, pulsating goal? You're going to plant your flag, you're going to do whatever it takes to get what you want? Or is it just a hope? Or is it just a wish? And I think this is where a lot of adults fall into, where it's just really a hope. It's just really a wish. It's not something you plant your flag on. And I think I'm super guilty of this in my own life when I think back. And it's hard to really come to terms with this. It's hard to come to terms with, yeah, it was just a wish. Oh yeah, it was just a hope. It's not one of those keen, strong desires. I'm gonna plant my flag. And this is what I'm gonna do, and this is what I'm gonna practice. Even with Neville Goddard, I'm gonna set an intention. I'm gonna go with imagination. I'm gonna live in the end until I get exactly what I want. And that's the whole thing of Neville Goddard. Even Neville Goddard has said is that the only reason you fail is because you give up. You stop doing it. You stop living in the end. And Neville Goddard, with all his lectures, even he said he's never seen it fail. He's never seen law of assumption fail. He's never seen it fail that you set an intention, you go inside your imagination, you live in the end. He's never seen it fail. Because his whole thing is you live in the end until the fruition of it comes in reality. He's never seen it fail. The only reason it fails is you stop. The only reason it fails is that you give up. Okay, and that's really not the point I want to tell you. Really, the point is that as an older adult, we tend to change our mind so quickly. Okay, like when we set a want, we set the desire. And we're trying to maybe we're trying to control the how a little bit. We're trying to figure out how it's going to come. I mean, that's a whole nother talk. But lots of times what happens, what I've found in my own life, is that I start changing my mind. Okay? And that's what really it means, like a wish or a hope, what Neville Goddard is preaching about here, just in the first few paragraphs of the second chapter on desire, is that that's really a wish or a hope. When you start changing your mind too much, it's not a strong desire. It's not a strong intention. You're not planting your flag. It's just a kind of a mere hope, a mere wish, okay? And I think as an old adult, this is a trap that we fall into. We fall into once we start seeing it. Maybe it's a few days, maybe it's a week, maybe it's a couple weeks, maybe we hung in there for a month, and we just don't see the fruition of it. We don't see it coming. We don't have the visible. We don't really have the visible. We can't see it. We can't see nothing coming our way, and we change our mind. We start changing our goal. We might throw in the towel altogether, or we might start altering what we want. And we alter it so much that we just keep on lowering the bar. And a lot of us are guilty of this. And I'm guilty of it. And let me give you an easier example. And I hate to use money all the time, a money example, but I think this is an easier one to kind of get. Is let's say for me, let's say I want to make $50,000 a month, okay, and that number might be super high for you, and I'm putting it high for a reason on this. So if I set an intention, a goal, a desire for $50,000 a month, in my mind, especially if you're trying to control the how, and if you have a problem with that, your mind's going to go crazy, because you might be thinking, well, how in the world am I going to make $50,000 a month? And your mind's going crazy. Your mind can't figure it out. Because you're trying to control the how. You're trying to control exactly where it's coming from. And after a few days, maybe after a week, maybe you hang in there a month, set an intention. Your intention is $50,000 a month. You're trying to go inside your imagination. You're trying to live in the end, but it's not working. Now all of a sudden it becomes just your gut, kind of the secret you I talk about the secret you. I'll post it here. This is a great video. The secret you is second guessing. The small little voice in your head, it doesn't believe it, and it's telling you're not going to get it. How can you ask for $50,000 a month? You don't even make $10,000 a month. Stuff like that. So what you start doing is you either throw in the towel, or you start you start changing your intention. You start changing your desire. You don't stay at 50,000 a month. You change your mind. You're like, oh, 50,000 a month is too much. Too much. Let's drop it to 25,000 a month. Now you drop it at 25,000 a month. Then you do that for a few days, a week. Your mind's still going crazy trying to figure out the how. And then you drop it to, well, 25,000 a month is too much. I don't even make 10, so let's drop it to 10. So now you set this goal for 10,000 a month, and the same thing happens. You might do it for a few days, a week, a couple weeks, but sooner or later you're trying to control the how. You can't figure out how you can make 10,000 a month unless you work 2 full-time jobs. You don't want to do that. So then maybe you make $5,000 a month. Then you think, well, maybe I'll set it to 6. So then you drop it from 10 to 6,000 a month. You drop it so low, because what you're doing is you're dropping it so low where you feel like you can control the how. You feel like you can control how to do it. Or you feel like, well, I get a part-time job and I make an extra $1,000. Now I get my 6,000 a month. So that's what you really do. Okay, and maybe you lowballed your goal so much. Maybe you do achieve it. Okay, but deep down you're thinking, the law of attraction don't work, law of abundance don't work, abundance don't work. It doesn't work for me because I wanted 50,000 a month and it didn't happen. But what happened was you didn't hang in there long enough. You know what I mean? I hate to say you didn't want it bad enough. You did want it bad, okay? But you didn't plant your flag. You didn't stay with that intention. So whatever your intention is, you have to stay with it. Okay, it's a super bad habit as an adult. The older we get, I don't know why we get this way. I felt this way. I fell in the trap lots of times this way, where you get kind of wishy-washy. Okay, you get wishy-washy with your decisions. You get wishy-washy with when you set an intention, a goal, or a desire. I don't know. It's because of our life experience comes in there, and a lot of things are mixing in there. We have life experience. Maybe we're raising a family. Maybe we have other responsibilities, of course, as an older adult. But the bottom line is, we're not staying with it. Okay? And this is something that I am super guilty of, especially with the money example, because you can set a high intention, a high desire, okay, then once you don't really see it coming, once you can't really figure out the how, if you kind of like me a little bit, being like a thinker, an overthinker, overanalyzer, you're going to struggle with 100%. You're going to struggle with controlling the how. You're going to struggle with just being able to let it go, okay? And that's really one of the powers too, is being able to just truly let it go, truly relax, and truly enjoy yourself at the same time you have this big intention. But what happens when we focus so much on it, we start worrying about it. We start doubting the process. We start getting wishy-washy. We start trying to control the how. And once all these little things creep in our mind, that's when we become wishy-washy. That's when we start controlling the how too much. That's when we start changing our mind too much. We get indecisive, okay? And the indecisive really keeps us from achieving our goal, okay? When you make a decision, you need to be firm on your decision. Okay, one of the things Napoleon Hill says, not in chapter 2, but he says it throughout the book, is that he says it something like this, is that wealthy people make fast, firm decisions, and they hardly change their mind. Listen to this. Very successful people make fast and firm decisions, but rarely change their mind. Okay, what do unsuccessful people do? Unsuccessful people take forever to make a decision. Okay, they're indecisive. And the reverse happens. Once they make a decision, they'll change their mind like that. So that's basically what's happening when we set an intention, set a goal, we're constantly changing our mind. We're not setting a firm decision. Once we set a decision, we stay with that decision, and we rarely change our mind. And this is why I know, and I struggle with indecisiveness, so I know this because I struggle with it. I know that about you. If you're indecisive, okay, if you're constantly changing your mind about your goals, I know when you go throughout your life, your professional life at work and your personal life, that you struggle making decisions and you struggle keeping with your decisions. You're always changing your mind, or you become very indecisive, or within inside relationships, you can't make decisions, you become indecisive. If someone asks you what you want to do, you're like, oh, you kind of flip the question. I'm a master at that, flipping the question. Oh, hey, what do you want to do? What do you feel like doing? Or they ask you, hey, Chad, where do you want to go eat? I don't know, what do you feel like? I'm always flipping the question rather than since they ask you a question, answer the question. Hey, I feel like going out for a steak. Let's go do that. Or I feel like going out for sushi. Let's go do that. Start being decisive, because it all really stems with little core bad habits that we have that's causing you to kind of constantly change your mind. And I think that's what resonated with me as we're kind of wrapping it up here. That's what resonated with me when I was reading this chapter, kind of within my morning routine here, is that why things aren't really working. And it really kind of led to that. To kind of wrap this up, is if you kind of fast forward to this point, is the whole gist of the talk was that one of the things that's not working for you when you set an intention, you set a goal, is we're really indecisive. We're not standing firm to a decision. Once we set an intention, once you set that decision, we don't alter that decision until we actually achieve what we want. Bottom line, we plant our flag on what we want. We plant our flag, the life we want to have. You plant your flag on your goal that you want, and you don't alter it. You plant your flag there. Okay, you don't become wishy-washy. You don't become indecisive. You don't try to control the how too much. Well, I don't see it coming. Oh my God. And you start changing your mind and altering it. See, once you start changing your mind on your goals, you keep on altering your goals. If you really think back in your life, you probably never got what you really want, but you constantly change your mind, and you lower the bar so low where you can easily achieve it, because you can control the how you're going to get it. Okay, true abundance says this in Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. It says it in the first chapter, is that when abundance comes to you, okay, when your goal finally comes to you, it comes to you at a different angle than when you really expect. It comes to you at an unexpected time. Okay, it comes to you at an unexpected way that you didn't see. And what Napoleon Hill is saying is that stop controlling the how, let go. Okay, what you want is your job. Controlling the how is God's job, is the universe's job. Stop controlling the how. Okay, what you want is your job. Your job is to only focus on your intention, what you want, your desire, go inside your imagination, live in the end. That's your job. Your job is to create a good bedtime routine, morning routine. Stay focused on it, but don't try your best. Don't control the how. Let it go. Go off with your day, enjoy your day, have fun. That's your job. The universe's job, God's job, is the how. Okay, once you truly let it go, you open up many opportunities for it to come to you. Most of the time, it doesn't come to you exactly how you want it to come. See, once you control the how, I want it to come from this angle only. I'm only focused on this angle. It's trying to come over here, but I'm blocking it. I'm not seeing it because I'm so focused over here. So it's trying to come to you in different ways, but you basically I have a great big shield here, and I'm shielding it away from me. But anyway, if you struggle with this stuff, for one, plant your flag. Stay firm. Make a direct decision on what you want and stay with that decision. If it's $50,000 a month, Maybe it's more, maybe it's less. Maybe it's 100,000 a month. Maybe you want to be a millionaire. If you want to be a millionaire, that's 100,000 a month. So if you want to make 100,000 a month, and that's really up in the scale, you can't see no way how it's going to happen. Well, you set your intention, you plant your flag, you go inside your imagination, you live in the end. How would you be living if you made 100,000 a month? What would you be doing if you made 100,000 a month? How would you be carrying yourself if you made 100,000 a month? What would your mindset be if you made 100,000 a month? What you be thinking about if you made 100,000 a month? Okay, no matter what income you want, how would you be living? Okay, just because you can't go out and buy your dream house, or you can't go on your dream vacation yet, you can't drive your dream car yet. Okay, how would you be living if you made the amount of money you want to make? What would your mindset be if you made the amount of money you want to make? See, those are the key aspects. When you live in the end, when you go inside your imagination, how would you be carrying yourself in real life? What would you be doing? Would you be worrying about paying your bills? Would you be bickering about employees you work with? Make sense? You wouldn't be doing all that stuff. Okay? That's what we have to come to terms with. This is why we do all these different exercises. You have a bedtime routine, morning routine, because sooner or later, you're going to do it long enough that you're going to influence your subconscious mind to a point that it believes what you want is already yours. Once you truly believe it, it comes to you like that. Okay? But how would you be carrying yourself? This is the key. Act as if. When you live in the end, you're acting as if. How would you be carrying yourself? How would you be thinking? There's a lot of things that you can control, I can control, without buying my dream house, without buying my dream car. There's a lot of things you could be doing. You're so focused on what you can't do. You're so focused on or debating on or trying to discredit the process. Well, I can't just go out and buy my dream car, Chad. I can't just go out and buy my dream house, Chad. So how can I live in the end? When you're sitting there pouting like a 5-year-old. But it's how you carry yourself throughout your day. You need to act. If you want to be a millionaire, you need to act like a millionaire. You want to be a millionaire, you need to start making decisions like a millionaire. You want to be a millionaire, you need to start thinking like a millionaire. You want to be a millionaire, your mentality needs to be of a millionaire. You want to be a millionaire, you need to start changing your environment. You want to be a millionaire, you need to start changing your friends that you hang out with. Okay? And maybe not all your friends, but you need to bring in 1 or 2 people that are more successful than you inside your core group. Okay? Because for one, your environment is going to change you. If you're in a bad environment, that environment rubs off on you more than you think. Okay? People's always heard, you are the top 5 friends that you hang out with. Not even friends, the top 5 people you hang out with. You're exactly like them. And that's why I say the top 5 people, is because lots of times when I say the top 5 friends, right away people like, oh, I don't hang out with anyone bad. I don't hang out, all my friends are good, but yet your top 5 people you hang out with, your first one, if you're older, is probably a girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, significant other. Boom. That's probably your top person you hang out with all day long. Okay? How is their mentality? How is their outlook on life? Okay, that's going to rub off on you. Okay, next it's family. It's siblings, brothers, sisters, mom, dad, aunts, uncles that you hang out with maybe on a regular basis. Okay, maybe you live close to them. Okay, then it becomes, then now it doesn't even become your friends and best friends yet. Now mixed in there, probably right after your significant other, is your coworkers at work. Your environment at work. You're at work minimum 8 hours a day. A lot of us are at work longer than that. If you have a career, you're at work 10 hours, 12 hours a day, 60, 80 hours a week. That's going to rub off on you. All your coworkers that have less mindsets than you, that's going to rub off on you. Okay? You just sitting there listening to people bicker in the background, that's going to rub off on you. Okay, it rubs off on you more than you think it does. So all this stuff that we can control, if you want to be a millionaire, you can control a lot of stuff. You can act as if, you can act like a millionaire. Okay, start researching millionaires, start researching how they think and do, how they carry themselves, and start being that way. Most millionaires I know, okay, that are close to me, for one, you wouldn't even know that they're a millionaire. You wouldn't even know the abundance of money that they make because they're truly just nice people. You know, and they're truly giving people, the millionaires that I know. Okay, you wouldn't even know how much money they made if you just randomly ran into them. Okay, maybe you went to their house or you saw a car, maybe you start thinking, this guy makes some money. But just out and about, running into him, you wouldn't even know. That's a real millionaire, being nice and humble. You don't even know the kind of money they make. You run into them, they're super nice, super giving. Okay, become more nice, more giving. Giving doesn't mean money. Giving your time, sitting there chatting with somebody, sitting there, somebody wants to talk. Okay, that's a real millionaire. That's somebody who makes real money. Okay, so there's a lot of things you can do, and you can shift to act as if, become a better person, become a better version of yourself, in order for it to come to you. Once you truly believe it, once the secret you truly believes that you deserve this lifestyle, then it will come to you like that. Other than that, my friends, this ended up being a long chat. So I thought it was going to be 5 or 10 minutes. But blessings to you. Comment below, let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video.